Hello traders, today is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. I'm going to go over 12 different names. Keep in mind, this content is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Let's start the video with Affirm. And quite an interesting day for Affirm. Let's move this. It's definitely moving pretty strongly. Today, it ended the day flat. It actually, let's take a look at the 5-minute. It had a gradual move towards over that 35 SMA, and then after that point, around 10 a.m. Pacific time, it actually started running, and then you had a really nice move after hours of 2%. Anyways, still on the same level as what we were left yesterday, and looks like we are at, well, we're actually at 57.6. Well, we'll see how things are going to behave tomorrow. Don't be surprised, as I said yesterday, that we might actually see a little bit of red, which we kind of did a little bit in the beginning of the session today, but we might see maybe a retest of the 52 or 55.5 level and maybe continue going up. But it seems like it still has enough strength that TSI and the MACD are not too extended, still volume coming in. So we'll see. We might actually hit 60 within the next few days, or maybe the next few weeks, actually, if you give it a little bit more time. But it seems like this stock is going to continue moving in the same direction. In other words, it's going to continue moving up. So keep an eye on your support level, 55.5 or 55.6 if you want to. And resistance is right now at pretty much 61. No, that can't be resistance. Let me keep an eye on this. Oh, yeah, wow. So resistance could be right now at 61. Don't take this resistance point as set on stone. We still have to see how it will react to the 60 level. But anyways, this is looking promising. I feel personally a little bit uncomfortable with such big moves, but still, we'll see. Today was flat, and then after hours, we got a little bit of a kicker towards where we're right now at 58.7. Anyways, that's what I have for Affirm. And let's move on to where am I? AMD. And just taking a note. One of the things that I mentioned before was that we might be having a little bit of a formation here, but I think that's getting invalidated. I don't know, I could be wrong, but what I was saying the other day, that was on Saturday, I believe, on the 9th, I was, and we had a 1, 2, 3 move, and another 1, 2, and maybe 3 move. But no, that's not happening, at least right now. We are now under the 325 SMA, which is this line right here. We'll see what kind of reaction we get here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go back down towards 134. So at least for right now, this thesis is invalidated, considering that today we had a move to the downside of 2.5%. Let's take a look to the 5-minute. Yeah, it was a sell-off throughout the whole day. I wasn't looking at AMD today, and up until the end or after closing, and when I was looking at the chart, I was like, this doesn't look good, especially the way we are going 2 times in a row in very close distance, going under the 325 SMA. That's not very good, and I think we might actually continue going down. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would like to see AMD moving up. I think it would be interesting if we break 150 or 151, and at that point there might be an opportunity to go long on this. But for now, I'm just leaving it alone. I was really hoping that we were going to have a continuation bouncing off that 325 SMA. Yesterday gave me a little bit of hope, but today is basically telling me that things are not looking too good. Anyways, that's what I have for AMD. And now I want to mention again ASTS, and one of the companies that I like long term. I think it's going to be a bumpy ride for a while. We are getting earnings in 2 days. Yeah, Thursday at night, I believe, after hours, correct. And one of the things that I liked, and I mentioned actually yesterday as well, was the way we were bouncing off this support level at 21.27 or 21.30, whatever. And but we're still under the 35 SMA. We got rejected yesterday. We got rejected again today. Let's take a look at the 5 minute and see how this was behaving throughout the day. Yeah, you got a sell off. Then you came back a little bit, and now you are up 2.6% after hours. It's not an indicative of things changing for tomorrow, but right now we are, if we are counting the price action for after hour trading, we are right on the 35 SMA. It is critical for this name to break over the 35 SMA, but I also think that whatever we get out of earnings, whether if it's good or bad, is really, really gonna have a dramatic effect on this stock. So we'll see how this behaves. I would love to see this, doing great on earnings, and at that point, I think we will see pretty big candles just like this. Rocket Lab actually had earnings today, and I think they were up 23 or 24%. Anyways, we'll see what happens on Thursday. I'm actually intrigued with the type of information that ASTS is going to bring on earnings. Let's move on to the next name, and that is I'm not gonna call Bitcoin today. I'm just gonna give it a couple of days or maybe a day, but I want to talk about Cava and really crazy move after hours after earnings. They did quite well after earnings, 16%. If we look at this on the 4-hour chart, move. But to be honest, I feel a little bit uncomfortable justifying like the next candle is gonna be here, somewhere here when at open. You're gonna have this gap. I feel a little bit uneasy trading something like this to the upside. Obviously, it looks already it's gonna be very extended, but we'll see how things behave within the next few days. Cava has been performing quite well, right in the 35 SMA for a while as well. But one of the things that I was uh, following in the past, if you follow my videos, was the fact that we were already super extended right on this area. But even then, we were able to go over resistance and have a very long continuation to the upside. Now the price currently after earnings is almost 170. So I don't know. I think is the valuation of this company is pretty rich, if you ask me. But anyways, congrats if you are a holder of Cava. I think that this move is quite significant, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get in the next few days or maybe weeks, and see if we get a little bit of a pullback or not. As far as what you see on the chart, it looks pretty solid, but to be honest, I've been waiting for a pullback for a while. No positions on Cava, but I do think that a pullback is well is actually due. Anyways, let's move on to our friends at uh, is this working? Clover, and take a note. Anyways, this level right here, the support level at three. What is it? 314 or 315 is critical. If this name is not able to hold this support level, you're probably gonna go down to 275 or maybe even continue going down towards 250 or 244, 240. Anyways, it's not looking good. MACD and TSI are not looking good at all. The chart itself is looking pretty bad. You have this double top right here, and you have this very dramatic drop um, towards or cutting through support levels. So you had 390, you had 350, and now you are at 315. If you break this, you're definitely gonna go. My price target would be 245. To be honest, I wouldn't be too worried about that 275, even though it seems to be a pretty strong level. But I think a strong continuation to the downside might come if you break the support level at 315. Keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next stock, and that would be CRM. And give me 1 second. Okay. Um, it looks pretty extended. One of the things that I was thinking when I was looking at this chart is like, if it doesn't cool down towards earnings, which are coming in 15 days, we might, I don't know. I think the optimal thing for CRM right now is to come down a little bit more towards I don't know which area right now. We can actually argue if we come down towards this resist or this support level right here, which can go back to this candle right here. It's more precise. Okay, towards 310, that would be optimal. I think if this continues to rally the way it's rallying, we are gonna have a pretty hard time, I guess. Continue with. I guess my point is, if we continue rallying and earnings are not perfect, there is going to be definitely a major pullback and a sell-off on this name. I've been a fan of CRM for a while, especially after this earnings report right here. And one of the things that I told you, this was back in May, was that there was going to be a nice continuation to the upside. And there was a huge price gap right here. There was a lack of liquidity here in this area. And things actually worked out the way I was anticipating. I did take some calls in these areas, but now it looks very, very extended. And if we continue going in this direction, which this might indicate that maybe not, but if we continue going up, I think that we might have a little bit of difficulties with any type of, I guess, adverse news coming during earnings. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope that we go down towards 311. And at that point, maybe if earnings as a catalyst are positive, then you can have a nice continuation. I like CRM. I think it's a little bit too extended. Let's move on to a setup that I think is becoming a little bit interesting, and that would be Datadog. Why do I think it's interesting? Is because it is in range, number one, and second, that 200 SMA has been flat for a while, and you had one touch on the 200 SMA, 2, 3, now 4. Now, if we go towards this area of resistance at 3, or I'm sorry, at 131, and we break, I think this is going to run. Now we need a little bit more of momentum coming in. You had a nice day with a pretty decent volume coming, but you want to see more green. You want to break the 35 SMA, which is right here. You want to mount that level, and then at that point, see if we can actually break and mount the 131 level. That is critical if we want to see this continuation. Now, if you break under 200 SMA and under 121, you're definitely going to run towards the 325 SMA, and your price target would be around 115, give or take 114. But anyways, we are sitting at a critical support level at 121, and if we continue going up, I think this is going to be a very decent setup. I love the fact that we're on this range. We're 1, 2, and 3. And let's see how we behave here. It's critical that you mount the 35 SMA, and then maybe we see a continuation towards 131. Keep in mind what is happening here with Datadog. Now let's take a look at this other name, and that is Doximity. And let me take a note on this really quick. Okay, so let's put a little bit of, I think this is setting up, I could be wrong, for a complete catastrophe, but maybe a pretty decent pull back might be coming for this name. Now I want to see a little more. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that I noticed is how impulsive the move was after earnings. You had a 34% to the upside, and now I do believe we are due to a pullback. You have this price gap right here. You also have a lack of liquidity here, I think we're overextended on the RSI and the MACD. The TSI is not looking too bad, to be honest. So we'll see how we behave. Today it was down 5.22%. So we'll see what happens in the upcoming days. But this is one of the names that is on my short list of names that I might actually get some puts. I just want to see how this behaves right on this area right here at 55. And I want to maybe make some decisions once I get into that area. But again, this is looking, so far it's looking like it's my pullback. So it's just a matter of being a little bit patient and see how this behaves throughout the day, especially tomorrow and maybe the following day. But you have this lack of liquidity here, and you have a MACD and an RSI that are, in my opinion, still very overextended. The TSI is not looking, it's just okay. It's not looking good or bad. Anyways, let's move on to a name that I got some calls the other day. And one of the things that I was saying yesterday, oh, this is Google, just for my notes. It is looking good, kind of. I think we have to break this area right here at 184, but I think that is probably going to happen. I got calls on Google right on this area. I sold right after earnings, and then on this candle, pretty much at the top, I sold within the first minute of trading. Then this went down, which was a little bit predictable, I think. At least that's what I mentioned on my videos. And then we had this move. One of the things that I was saying yesterday was, and we need momentum to get or to get away from the 180 area, and I think that is happening. So today we were up 0.74%, not too bad for Google. We'll see how we behave within the next few days. I think that is critical that by the end of the week we basically have to keep more distance from the support level and catch more momentum towards resistance at 193. But so far this is moving the way I was expecting and hoping, I guess. You have not you have a decrease of liquidity the higher you get towards 193. So we'll see how we behave within the next few days. MACD and TSI are looking okay. RSI is right on the 70 line, so keep that in mind. But anyways, Google is not looking bad. Now let's take a look at HIMS, and let me take a quick note on HIMS. Okay, HIMS. I put this drawing right here before earnings. I think it was pretty useful, especially if you go, if you change the chart like this. It was pretty obvious, I guess, that we were gonna get this move, but it was also dependent on how earnings and the following days were going to be. So after earnings, things weren't too great, really. But yesterday we had a spectacular day that went up for where we closed at 14%, I believe, and we end up having, let me go back to the 1 day so I can be more, and let me get rid of this because that's the past already. So yeah, 20% yesterday, and today we went down 4.27%. Anyways, one of the things that I was very surprised was a move that we got yesterday and how it broke price target, which was 25.8, and now we are on our way back towards that level. I want to see how this behaves in the next few days, and maybe if we get in range between this top area right here, which was new all-time highs, 29.8 again, and 25.8, we'll see how we behave. Maybe we are into range, or maybe we continue going towards 23.44, which wouldn't be surprising. But at that point, I think the stock is going to consolidate and maybe give us a little more of an understanding of the direction or the pattern that is going to take in order to continue to go up. I think it's good, actually, that we went down today 4.27%, and it's also good that it wasn't anything dramatic, meaning we didn't go under the 25.8 resistance level. On the 5 minute, you had a, let's go to the 1 minute. I just want to see that candle. yeah, you had a nice move to the upside, and then after that, you basically took all that back, continue going down, and right at that point, let's go back to the 5. You were basically flat, and now you're right under or right on the 325 SMA. Let's go just want to take a look at 15. Yeah, basically flat on the 15-minute. You had this nice move. Yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't have a price target to the upside other than maybe keeping an eye on the 29.8 level since it's all-time highs. But again, we should see if we're gonna get any type of consolidation between 29.8 and 25.8, and at that point, then you can start feeling more solid on price targets and that sort of stuff. But for now, my range is 29.8 all-time highs and actually 23.44. So yeah, we'll see what we get within the next few days. But again, HIMS is still looking pretty solid. I mean, this setup that we had, like that little cap right here, and the breakup of this area was pretty impressive. So I'm still gonna keep an eye on HIMS. Again, I think if this actually give us a pullback, I'm definitely gonna jump in it again. Now let's move on to what else do we have? Microsoft. Microsoft is claiming the. Give me one second. Microsoft is claiming the 200 SMA and the 35 SMA again. Little of a roller coaster, to be honest. Yesterday we bounced off the 35, I'm sorry, the 415 level, but we still closed under the 35 SMA and the 200 SMA, which is fine. Then today we actually came back and we closed at 1.20%. Let's take a look at the 5-minute and see what was the behavior of the stock. It was all the way up. Look at this bounce on the 325 SMA and how it actually came back. These two things, crossing the 35 SMA, the 325 SMA, and then you had this nice move. You've got another flag right here, another move. Very nice, actually. Then you have a triangle here. So the setups on the 5-minute on Microsoft today were pretty impressive, to be honest. Anyways, I do have some calls on Microsoft. So right now I do have positions on Google and Microsoft. That's what I have right now. Google is printing pretty well. Microsoft is lagging behind. But today was a pretty decent day. So we'll see. These are January 17 calls. Anyways, I think let's go back to the 1 hour. I'm sorry, to the daily chart, and yeah, we need a little more momentum. We need a continuation on mounting this 200 SMA and the 35 SMA, and then your next resistance level is going to be the 431 or 430. Let's actually clean this up a little bit. And yeah, after 431 you have less liquidity and you might actually continue moving towards 443, but for now your resistance level 431 and your support level 415. Very stubborn area, to be honest. Now let's finish the day with what I finished with yesterday, and that is Tesla. And we were down, counting after hours, pretty much 7.30%, which is fine. I think don't be surprised, and we might actually go down towards 300 and then retest this level and continue going down. Why am I saying 300 instead of 315 or 13? The reason why I'm saying that is because this already looks a little bit extended. We are losing momentum especially after today, and it looks like if that continues to happen, there is going to be enough momentum to break under 315 and then go straight towards 300, which in my opinion is absolutely fine. The reason why I'm saying that is because because at that point we can actually retest 300 and continue going towards 360, which seems to be a psychological level. We were almost there yesterday, but then you got rejected, and now you have this, in my opinion, welcomed red candle. I like to see this red and maybe a little more of red, and then a continuation to the upside. I think that Tesla has enough fuel to continue going towards 400. Call me crazy, I think we do. Yet you want to give these indicators, you want to give the stock itself a little bit of a breather, and then find a momentum again to the upside to claim new level or past levels 314 and 360 in this case. Again, I think that if we continue going to the downside, you're gonna hit 300, and then we might retest that level. Under 300, you go straight into filling this gap. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye.